In this video, I provide a very short introduction to delta tables and showing how you can take advantage of delta tables in the development of our project. Before diving into the details of delta tables, let's talk about some of their key features which are relevant to our project. First of all, they provide ACID transactions, the same way relation database systems do. We can use Spark to handle the metadata of delta tables. We can also stream and do batch workloads when processing the data. Delta tables also provide schema enforcement, making sure the schema is always checked before data gets appended. It provides a very interesting concept of time travel, which allows us to control the versions of different modifications on the lifetime of the delta tables. And finally, support upserts and deletes, meaning we can do updates, inserts, and delete on the table, and all the modifications will be kept on the time travel as part of delta tables version control. Let's start by creating a Spark data frame by reading a CSV file. In this example, I am using the airlines data set from Databricks repository. The following code indicates I'm creating a new Spark data frame where the first row is the header of this data frame, automatically inferring the schema and reading a CSV file. Okay, in this example, we are using CSV, but we could also use other formats like Avro, Parquet, and ORC. One advantage of Parquet is easier to use with Spark and Arrow and Impala. Impala is an implementation of Hive on Cloudera cloud computing services. Parquet files are compressed, which is why they consume less space, making it faster to Spark to load them from the storage into memory. Parquet files are also a columnar storage type, so Parquet files are very efficient when Spark reads or query data. And finally, the Parquet files carry with them the schema, and they are partitioned in nature. On the other hand, CSV is the most common file type among data science and users, so people are used to them. They are human readable. Parquet files are not human readable, and Parquet files are very easy to manipulate and can be used at any text editor. Once a data frame is created, we can ask Spark to display a few rows so you can visualize the data frame. I can now use the data frame to create a delta file, as indicated over here, and save the delta file into Databricks file system, DBFS. And using Spark utilities, I can check what files will be created under this folder. I can now create a delta table from the delta file previously created. So the name of the delta table will be airline delta table, and you indicated the location of the delta file via delta location. As you can see here, after the delta table is created, you can start issuing SQL commands like select the number of rows the airline's delta table contains. You can also verify the results using Databricks dashboard. So we have over here the table airlines delta table. Okay, it's over there, so you can see the schema of this table, very simple table. You can have a sample of the data, and you can have the history with the different versions of this table. So the version 0 is when I create the table. I also play around and delete the table. I update the table, and I have recreated the table. So all the versions regarding the history of Databricks Delta table is saved in Databricks log. Concept of time travel, you can list all the modifications which has been done in this table, in that case the airlines delta table, indicating the version, when the modification was done, who did the modification, and what operation was done. Versions, you can also select the rows and bind the select to the version you wanted to use. For example, I am selecting all the rows from airlines delta table, but I want to work version number 1, and the results are here. If I change the select and indicate another version, for example version 5, the results will be different because I have changed the table between version 1 and version 5. In this video you saw how to manipulate, create, update, insert, and query delta tables. As you saw, they are very similar to tables in a relation database management system. They are similar but not the same. So in this slide I provide some guidelines regarding about the usage of SQL when performing queries on delta tables. First of all, avoid using not in SQL queries, as this is a very expensive operation. Filter the data before performing join operations by using the where clause before join the tables. As possible, mention the column name when using the select clause instead of giving a star to select all of them. Try to use the columns required for the operations instead of selecting all of them unnecessarily. Avoid using like in the where clause, as it is another expensive operation. Try not to join the same set of tables multiple times. Instead, write a common table expression, CTE, using the with clause to create a subquery and use it to join the tables wherever necessary. When joining the same table for different conditions, use the case statement.